What's good, everyone? Back at it again with another Marvel's Avengers build video, and in this build video I'm going to be featuring the god himself, Thor. We already know how OP Thor is in this game. He is probably ranked #1 in terms of dealing the most damage in this game when it comes to especially running the harder content missions. So with this build, I'm going to break down everything I use for Thor, his stats, the skill trees, the gear I use, and even with the gear I use, I am going to show you guys some alternative gear that you guys can use if you're unable to get blessed by those RNG gods. So let's get this build video started, and if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And shout out to this, dude from Wakanda just, getting into my point of view. Man, jeez. Anyways, let's do this. Okay everyone, so let's go ahead and have a look at the stats and see a full breakdown of what stats I have on this Thor Range build. So with this Thor Range build, you guys can see one of the top attributes that you want to pay attention to is the heroic rating. So the heroic rating does consist of Valor. So my Valor is currently sitting at 638. With this type of build, especially this range build, you want to make sure you have a high range rating and a high heroic rating. With my Thor, you guys are probably saying 638, well, that's not a lot of Valor, and I can probably get more than that. You guys probably can, but keep in mind, it really depends on what kind of gear you use and how each gear will work well with the other gear you have equipped. For example, there are a lot of legendary gear pieces out in the game that have higher stats that can take your heroic rating to at least like 40 to 50,000. However, that gear might not be useful when you're running missions. So when I get to the gear part, I'm going to be showing you guys a breakdown of what gear to use and what other gear you guys can use when it comes to endgame content especially. So back to the stats, range is at 4,146, heroic ratings around 22,000, and with my builds right here, I haven't maxed out the champion system with Thor, so obviously these stats can go up a little bit more. And currently in the game, when you do have gear that have 2 stats on it, for example Valor and Precision, that will obviously increase these ratings as well. So here's a full stat breakdown, and you guys have seen my stats right here. Defense is also decent. With Thor, since you are going to be flying most of the time and dodging and throwing your hammer, the defense is pretty good here. You can probably get obviously more defense when you do max out your champion trees, but this is how the stats are looking. Now let's get to the fun part. We're going to go ahead and break down the gear and also what alternative gear you guys can use when it comes to this Thor range build. Alright everyone, let's get it started with the gear. So with the gear that I'm going to showcase to you guys right now, this is all the gear that I use when I'm running any mission currently in the game. I'm also going to show you guys alternative gear that you guys can use if you're unable to farm for the pieces that I have. So don't worry, if you want to create that successful range Thor build, I will show you that alternative gear. So let's get it started with the major artifact. I'm using the Sacred Nornstone of Lethal Will. You guys already know about this artifact. If there is an alternative artifact you guys do want to try out, you guys can use the Tachygen, but I preferably like the Sacred Nornstone of Lethal Will. Minor artifact, I use the Yellow Iso 8 with triple Valor stats, and it does come with the interesting perk called Powerful Breaker, 11.9 increased damage from power attacks. Not a lot of people are aware of this, but that perk right there also contributes to your range power attacks as well. And to get this ISO, you can actually get it from the Utah Badlands Outpost or the Pacific Northwest Outpost. You do need to check daily to see if you're able to get the triple Valor stat, epic Yellow ISO 8, because sometimes when you do check, the stats might be a little bit lower than what I have, or the perk might be a little bit different. But again, you can use 2 of these, or you could combine this artifact with this artifact I'm about to show you, which is called the Nornstone of the Bulwark. Might in Valor, but I wish I did have Precision, Proficiency, and Valor on this. However, this artifact right here is all about luck, and you can get this when you're running the Discordant Sound raid. So we'll go to Wakanda real quick. So you can either run the normal raid or the elite raid, and there is a chance you will be able to get it from one of these 2 raids. It doesn't matter because there is no elite version of this artifact currently. So you can get it from either the regular raid or the elite raid. And this artifact's really good because this is what helps me when I use a range power attack to activate a vibranium payload on an enemy target. So if you can't get this artifact, just run with 2 yellow ISO 8s, or you can try 2 blue ISO 8, which is precision. However, I preferably recommend using a yellow ISO 8 instead, or 2 of those, just because Thor is more of like a heroic build type character. So that's why I would prefer the yellow ISO 8. So those are the minor artifacts. Now let's get on with the other gear. We'll start off with the heroic piece. So Griddle of the Thunderer, this is a great piece, especially if you're a ranged Thor. So this increases, with the first perk, increases all damage dealt while overcharged by 20%. If you guys are not aware of what overcharge means, is when you use your heroic ultimate ability, you go in an overcharged state, and with that perk right there, it increases all damage dealt by 20% when you're in that overcharged state. Comes with precision, resolve, and valor, and you can actually get this from running the elite vaults. The elite vaults happen every week, and an example of an elite vault is this. There are about 4 elite vaults. You have the Wastelands Vault, the Forest Vault, the Snowy Tundra, or the Desert Vault. So you can definitely get it there. You can also try running a daily vault, for example like this one. However, there's a rare chance to get it from a daily vault. If you run a weekly vault, you have a better chance of obtaining it because it does guarantee you a heroic or defensive slot, as you guys can see here. So that's that. Precision, Resolve, Valor, and also forgot to mention it does come with the second perk, Lightning Potentiator. This increases shock status damage and also increases that status meter being full with the shock status. And then we have Odin's Flight, increases regeneration speed of your intrinsic energy while flying by 30%. And since you're using Thor and it is a range build, you are going to be flying a lot with Thor. So this will contribute a lot while you're in flight. So that is a heroic piece, an alternative heroic piece that you guys can use. I'll showcase to you guys right now. Let's see. The first one is this one. I'm not even going to pronounce it. It is an epic piece. It comes with precision and valor. 2 places you can get this. You can either get this from a faction mission, or you can get this from Roy from the Helicarrier. And you just need to make sure it does come with precision and valor. And you guys can check the stats out there. The first stat is actually really good. Odin Force Assistance, 3.2 increased heroic charge rate while Odin Force is active. So this is a really good, epic piece to have if you're unable to get this one. So that's a substitute. And another substitute is, where is it? Griddle of the Allfather. This actually drops from the elite villain sector. Valor, Precision, and Resolve. You guys can check out the perks right there. So 2 alternatives that you guys can use if you're unable to get Griddle of the Thunderer. Now to the defensive slot. Precision, Resilience, Valor. This is somewhat like a god roll because of the perks. Reverberation Breaker. So you guys saw the artifact I mentioned. So when I do activate that vibranium payload on an enemy target, I can inflict 25% additional damage to those enemies that are inflicted by vibranium status effect. And we know with Thor, he does come with shock status automatically, and then God Blast has cryo. And then you can either have Bifrost, preferably with plasma, but you're running with a lot of status effects, so you will be able to create that battery damage immediately when you have a perk like this, and it will increase the damage, like I said, by 25% with Reverberation Breaker when you're attacking those vibranium inflicted enemies. And the next perk is Odin Force Breaker, 18% increased damage while Odin Force is active. This gear piece right here, you can get it from the Discordant Sound Elite Raid if you want better stats. There is a chance you might be able to get it from the regular raid, but I got this from the Elite Raid. You do need to be lucky with this, but it is what it is. We already know, like I mentioned, RNG sometimes can, drag your farming, for a while, but you guys will eventually come across a gear piece like this. And then an alternative gear that you can use, or gear piece, is a reactive buff. Best way to farm this is running any vault missions and opening any of those chests. There is a chance you'll get a reactive buff, whether it's epic or legendary. Just make sure it does come with Valor, Proficiency, and Precision. Mine has intensity, but I don't even use this anymore just because I have landed this piece. So this is an alternative. And then you can use Chestplate of the Allfather. This drops from the Elite Villain sector. So this is an alternative. The only problem with this is it doesn't have Precision and Valor on it, but does have some pretty good defense stats. And you guys can read the perks right there. So alternative choices are these two right here. And my main choice for this build is a Discordant Battleplate Elite piece. Alright, next. This is where you want to make sure you have this. And I hope you guys do. If not, I'm praying for you guys. And I'm praying to the RNG gods to bless you with this piece. Grips of the Storm comes with targeted buff, the Cosmic Proficiency, and Tachyon Surge. Precision and Valor. If you do have 2 stats on it with Precision and Valor only, that's really good as well because you will have higher stats. However, if you are able to get Precision and Valor on this with whatever other stat it is, because I have Might on mine currently, just make sure you keep it. This piece right here is godly, especially for a Thor. So I got this from the Tachyon Anomaly event that does happen, I would say maybe once a month, or maybe once every 2 months, depending on how the event schedule is going on right now in the game. So you can either get this piece from that event, which I honestly prefer waiting for the event if you don't want to farm crazy, or you can go to the Snowy Tundra, let's see, and run the Beating the Odds Villain sector. There is a rare chance that you can get the Hammer range piece from here, but again, you will be farming for a very long time if you're running this mission to get it. You can also get it from Tachyon Surge missions, for example, like this one right here. But I honestly have never come across this, with the damage buff from the Tachyon Rift missions. It was mostly from the Beating the Odds Villain sector in the Snowy Tundra, where you have a better chance of getting it if you don't want to wait for the Tachyon Cosmic event. So that's the piece that I'm using. So again, I have the Cosmic status effect, I have the Vibranium status effect, and automatically Thor comes with a Shock status effect. So we have those status effects going with the battery damage. But this, again, really good piece to have. So make sure you guys definitely get this when you have the opportunity. Alternative gear now you guys can get, or alternative range slot you can get, is from the Elite Discordant Sound Raid or the regular Sound Raid. You can go with this Discordant Biden range piece, which comes with ranged sonic attack and a Vibranium payload. Mine comes with Valor and Resilience. If you're able to get it with Valor and Precision, that's okay. And then you can combine it with the reactive buff so you can get that damage buff. But that's one piece. Another one is also here from the Discordant Sound Elite Raid. I'll let you guys check this out. And another one that I don't have right now, but it is a legendary piece, and it is available in the Wakanda vendor. And that piece is a range piece that has Gamma status effect on your range power attacks and a Vibranium payload. So if you are new to the Discordant Sound Raid in Wakanda and it's your first time running it and you're using Thor, and you want to just use like an easy range piece to get, go visit the Wakanda vendor, check every day, and there is a chance you will have a range piece with Gamma status effect with the Vibranium payload, and there is a chance it will come with Proficiency and Precision. So that would be the easiest alternative range piece that you guys can get. But again, if you come across the God Roll piece like this, make sure you guys keep this one. Alright, moving on, the melee piece. Nothing to really explain here, it's more because of the stats and also the third perk. Precision and Valor, you guys can see right there. Odin Force Breaker as well, 18% increased damage while Odin Force is active. So this piece, I got it from the Wakanda Raid, which is a Discordant Sound Raid Elite. You can also get it from the regular raid as well with that third perk. Make sure you go with the Precision and Valor stat when you're running a melee piece for this Thor range build, because it definitely contributes really well for your range rating. Alternative is you guys can farm something like this. This is a legendary piece that has the Odin Force Breaker. Instead of 18%, it does have 14%. The Wakanda vendor will either have this, or you can run any mission in the Wakanda area, and there is a chance you might come across this legendary piece by either opening a legendary loot box or chest, or beating enemies and it suddenly drops. So, or destroying corrupted vibranium. So destroying corrupted vibranium in the Wakanda area has a tendency to drop these vibranium type pieces. But this one, just because of the Odin Force Breaker, this would be an alternative. Sadly, it doesn't come with precision and valor. It does only come with proficiency, might, and resilience most of the time. So you won't come across precision and valor on this. So I highly recommend making sure you can get this piece from the regular raid or the elite raid. But that's an alternative. Another alternative is the Arm Guards of the Thunderer. This is available from the elite vault missions. Same problem, proficiency and might. It will never roll with precision or valor. The reason I like using this is because of the first perk and the third perk. But those are alternatives that you guys can use in the meantime. Or if you're unable to get any of those, you can just go with, let's see here if I have it, just something that has like precision and valor on it. So anything with precision and valor, you just want to make sure you can get that. And then one thing to mention before we finish off the gear is, like I mentioned earlier, with the stats, you definitely can get higher stats with the legendary pieces, because the legendary pieces will have like higher better gear with like proficiency, valor only. So that can contribute really well for your, stats. However, keep this in mind. With Thor, when you're running a range build, the perks really do matter. So here's an overview of, again, what we have. You guys can see the melee slot comes with the Odin Force perk. Then we have the range slot coming with the targeted buff and the Tachyon Surge. Then we have the Discordant Battleplate Elite coming with the Reverberation Breaker and Odin Force Breaker. And then we have the Griddle of the Thunderer that comes with all these incredible perks. And then the artifacts. If you guys do have any questions about the gear, let me know in the comments below. I know explaining the gear sometimes does take time, so I will leave timestamps in the comments so you guys can skip to the gear part and make sure you guys hear what I was saying in terms of the alternative gear you guys can get and the main gear that I use. But this setup right here is what creates that godly damage I did in those clips, and it also can help you guys succeed in a lot of the end game content that will be either in the game or coming to the game, or that's presently in the game. So that's all the gear. Now let's go ahead and quickly go over skills. Here are the skills to my Thor range build. So if you are level 50, you pretty much have unlocked all the skills in the primary, specialty, and mastery skill trees. So make sure you are level 50 to really, run this Thor range build to its full potential. The 2 or 3 skills that I want you guys to pay attention to in the primary section is the intrinsic ability, which is Odin Force, because you guys also saw this as a perk on 2 of the gear pieces that I run with. I do use this often when I'm running with Thor. And then the hammer skills, which is your range attack and your range power attack. And with this build, just because all you do is throw a hammer, you guys can see, just because how godly Thor is, the damage you do is insane with these range attacks. So that is a quick overview of primary. I'm going to go into specialty and mastery. I'm not really going to go in depth. I'm just going to have you guys look at what skills I use. And if you do have any questions, again, just let me know in the comments below. Now going over the champion system, the 3 things that you guys probably want to max out first, or 4 things, is I'll start off with the heroic charge rate. Make sure you max this out to get your heroics back pretty often. Then you want to get your critical chance boost all the way max, critical attack damage, and then also your perk chance. This also helps towards your vibranium payload. Obviously, you guys can see with the stats that I currently have, I am not fully maxed within the champion system, so just imagine once this is all maxed out how the stats would look. So, quick breakdown of the champion system. You guys also saw a quick overview of the mastery and specialty, and then I explained to you about the primary. And then again, with these skills, I will also showcase to you guys a demonstration on how I use Thor quickly when I'm attacking enemies, so you can actually see what status effects are being applied, and then how to use your abilities in which order. So now we've done that. Let's go ahead towards that demonstration now, and let's go ahead and fly to that harm room. Okay, I'm in the harm room right now, so I'm going to quickly demonstrate to you guys what attacks I use in which order, and also showcase to you guys what status effects get applied on enemies, and also how I use my heroic abilities. I'm also not going to be showing you the Bifrost glitch, because we know there are a lot of Thors out there using the Bifrost glitch, but with this build in particular, this is just a legit build, so in case that does get patched, at least you guys can come back to this video and check this build out to go back to a godly Thor Range build and do some crazy damage. So let's go ahead to the terminal right now. Brutal difficulty, we got the Claw Company right here, and then the group size is 5. The reason I'm going with this setup is so I can showcase to you guys also the vibranium payload. So what I tend to do first is I'll use my range power attack. You guys can see that activated the Tachyon Surge and damage buff. Then I'll also go into Warrior's Fury, and you can see that also procced the vibranium payload. And then remember when we were talking about the overcharged state? Overcharged state is when you use your heroic ultimate ability, and you obviously want to wait till it's red, like that. And you can see I then go into God Blast, and you can see all those status effects being applied right now. So pretty easy demonstration. So again, the Bifrost does give you that overcharged state, and that will give you the ability to do more damage. And let's just clear this group of enemies real quick. Oh, and boom, you're done. And you can see when I activate Odin Force with the right trigger, there was some blue status effect right there, where the blue damage numbers, that is your shock status, or shock damage. Alright, let's go ahead and reset the harm room. So pretty self-explanatory. So again, throw that hammer to activate your Tachyon Surge and your damage buff, then use your Nornstone of Lethal Will to get that activated, and then go into Warrior's Fury, or sorry, go into your Bifrost if you want, but I preferably go with Warrior's Fury first, which is your support ability, and then go into your Bifrost to get your overcharge, and then go into God Blast to do a lot of damage, as you guys saw in the clips I showed in the beginning. So that is the end of this godly Thor Range build video. Honestly, with this build video, you guys notice that it's basically always about the gear that you have. And I hope, again, RNG blesses you with the gear that I have, so you guys can do that insane damage when you're fighting any enemy in the game. And like always, if you guys do have any questions, make sure you let me know in the comments below. Timestamps will be provided in this video, so you guys can skip to any part of the video that you want. And make sure you show your support for more build videos like this and hitting that like and subscribe button. Until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys stay safe. I'm out. Peace.